So tonight a show called Made in Staten Island comes out, and a lot of controversy about that show. I'm from Staten Island, so you probably think I have something to say. Well, I'm not really fully 100% what everybody's saying, but I do have to admit, this show looks kind of like a joke. Now, before we start the video, and before you guys say anything, before you say that, oh, you're judging this before you see it, I will give an honest, full review of the show when I see the first episode and many more. I'll watch the show and I'll give a full, honest review on my YouTube page. But this is based off what I've seen, the material that was given to us, so please bear with me on this. This is not to kind of degrade a show before it's released, but this is just to give an idea of why everybody's backlashing. So please bear that in mind. Now let's get the video started. Hey, what's up everybody, Michael here, welcome back to another video. And yes, judging by the video and also by what you guys have seen in the beginning, we're going to talk about the show Made in Staten Island. Now, there's a lot of problems going on right now. There's petitions saying the show should change its name, it should get canceled because it's a false representation of Staten Island. And there's a lot of people arguing about this show, Italians saying that it's making them look bad. Well, let me just try to say where I stand on this, because I am an Italian, I'm a Calabresian Italian. My family's history has dealt with stuff like this, no lie, I can actually have proof. But before we even talk about it, let's try and give a synopsis of the show. So Made in Staten Island is basically a show that follows 8 different teenagers trying to fight each other, I guess, trying to give an idea of how bosses or whatever, I haven't really gotten a good idea of this, but basically they're trying to give a better representation of what Staten Island means, and they are all Italian, I believe, and they are all trying to fight for power, it seems like. Now, I probably got that show synopsis wrong, so please correct me in the comment section, but the idea is that this show deals with mafias, bosses, and things like that. Now, let me just say something right now. I've been on Staten Island for about 4 years, almost 5. Now, there are people that have been on this island longer than me, but I've been all around the borough. I've been all around this godforsaken place from driving everywhere. And I think it's safe to say that I haven't seen one freaking mafia-related theme on this island. The only thing I ever see is my neighbors that are all Italian. I love my neighbors, by the way. Now, everybody on this island, for a fact, the majority of them are Italian. That's not a lie. I mean, I would suppose, because where I live, there's a majority of them are made up of Italians. So like my whole strip full, this is my house, and everybody down the block is all Italian. And when Staten Island first came up, the Italians moved out here, so that's what my father tells me anyways. I wasn't born when this happened, so this is just basically what I know. So the thing that I think that this show is aiming for is trying to show the street life. Now, I have friends that actually do live on the streets, and I'm going to tell you right now, from what this show is making it look like, now keep in mind, I'm not trying to bash the show, but what this show is making it look like is that the street life is almost bad. But I haven't seen one bad thing on Staten Island. Like, okay, let me say something. I grew up in Brooklyn for 14 years. I grew up in the worst part too. I lived right across the street from the projects. And the shit that I lived across the street from was actually much harder and much more severe than what they're trying to make this show look like. I lived in Brooklyn, and I lived in Sheepshead Bay. Now, obviously, Sheepshead Bay is not the most contaminated place, but when you go down further, the projects are right there. The neighborhoods were not as bad, but the thing that I want to explain is, I'm not trying to make anybody sound bad right now, but compared to what I'm seeing in Staten Island and compared to what I grew up in, Brooklyn was more of a struggle, because everywhere you go there was danger. There were schools that had police guards with actual guns. There were areas located specifically with cops in case anything went wrong. There was always standby cops everywhere in Brooklyn, in the area I lived in. And right in the projects, there was always fights. It got to the point where they put those giant beam lights that literally like gets rid of dark. That's how bad Brooklyn was compared to what is on Staten Island. Now, this show is trying to have these kids come in and make it look like they're Italian bosses and shit. Look, I'm gonna be real with you guys. They just look like everyday high schoolers. Like, I went to high school and I've seen kids like this. I'm not even trying to be mean, but like, these are just wannabes. In this show, they're supposed to be bigger, they're supposed to be bosses. There's this one kid with his hair pushed back with a fucking suit. Bruh. What are you trying to... I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I'm just like laughing right now because like the show is a joke. And everybody's getting mad about it because that's all it is trying to be. I mean, I don't think it's trying to be a joke, but it's playing off as a joke. And everybody's taking it so literally. Like, I'll get into everybody there, but I'm just trying to say what the show is. It's a joke. Like, I'm not trying to say these kids are bad or anything, but like, they're trying to make it sound like these are the bosses of Italian mafias, but like, I've been on this island for almost 5 years and I haven't seen a single thing. And I've been to some of the worst, like Newdorf. I've been to places like that. They may be bad, but there is nothing. If anything, the worst thing on this island is fucking kids juuling in the bathroom. But let's be real here. Who hasn't? They jewel in the bathroom, fucking weed everywhere, opioid addiction. That's pretty much the biggest problem with this island. So I'll get into that after. But those are like the 3 things that I've seen. And I've been in high school for 4 years. I've seen kids like those. They're wannabe dress-up kids. They basically dress up like thinking they're worth millions and millions, but they probably barely even got a penny in their pocket. Now, keep in mind, I'm not trying to bash these kids on the show, but I'm just saying what they are representing. Now, to all those that are bashing this show because it's giving a false misrepresentation of Staten Island and all that stuff, I would say hold out from saying that till you see the first episode, which is what I'm going to do. Because you're basing your opinion just like I am, off of an image, off of a trailer, and I get it, you know, but you're going a little far in saying it's misrepresenting the whole Italian community and stuff. Don't forget the history we've dealt with as Italians. Now, I'm not trying to get political or any stupid thing like that, but if you look at the mafia family timeline, the 5 big families, you gotta understand, we didn't have it so easy. Not saying nobody else had it easy, but timeline speaks for itself. That's all I'm gonna say on that. I know I'm sounding really, really weird right now, but this is not an easy video for me to make, because I don't make videos like this. But the point that I'm trying to say is this. Stop bashing, stop requesting for the show to get canceled, because y'all did the same thing for Jersey Shore, and look what happened to Jersey Shore. That shit blew up. And then you got other shows that are probably just as equal. Look, I get it. Staten Island is not the most likable borough, and I'll be honest with you, I'd rather go back to Brooklyn, but it's not that bad. It's livable. It's a good place for a majority of things, but like, you're bashing the show just like I am, and don't get me wrong, I'm probably one in the crowd, but you're bashing the show based off of how you think they're representing. These are teenagers, these aren't adults, these are kids, and I'm telling you, these kids have seen nothing. Like, what this show probably will present, there's a scene where they look like they're going to jail. Bro, I've had friends that have been locked up for worse things. What could they possibly have been locked up for? Yes, I went to Tottenville, by the way, so that's how I know all this. So look, to all those bashing this show, just hold off till you see the first episode. So my take on this show is this. It's probably trying to be serious, but it's just coming off as a joke, and all my friends are literally laughing at it. To anybody like that's listening to this video, like, this is what I think you probably should have done instead of making a video about that kind of stuff and narrowing it to Staten Island. Why don't you actually go to Brooklyn, the Bronx, Queens, go to those areas, see how much different it is versus Staten Island, because this is like nothing compared to those boroughs, and I've lived there. Keep in mind, I lived there and I've seen firsthand. Now, I'm not the most, oldest person in the world, but I do know for a fact that those boroughs have much more to represent and much more to give than Staten Island. Not saying Staten Island has nothing, but you're basically going off and attacking an island that doesn't have much to give from the start. Everybody wants to leave this place, so why would you pick this borough to say that this is where all the mafia deals and shit? Now, all those cast directors, everybody that's saying ignore the backlash and shit, be careful what you wish for. Sometimes you should embrace the backlash and give an honest opinion, which I hope you probably have done by now, because the more you're just like, oh, we don't care, the more it's going to bite you in the ass. So definitely think twice about that. So that's going to do it for this video. Now, this video is a very weird one. Again, I don't make videos like this. I'm a tech YouTuber. I do videos about tech, NBA, other things like that, wrestling, but this is just something I wanted to put out there because, I feel personally it is kind of a joke, and I can see why everybody's arguing, but at the same time, I'm just like, guys, just wait and see the first episode. Don't even bash it. Who knows? Maybe it's a good episode. But I feel that this is a false misrepresentation to an extent. I feel that they should be covering real things on this island, like the opioid addiction. This is probably the biggest borough that has this problem. Maybe shine some light on that. That's what I would say. If the show does shine light on that, I'll give credit to credit, and I'll review the show. Don't worry. By the end of this, I will give a full review of Made in Staten Island. But look, this is all I gotta say about that. Please do not bash me in the comments saying you're judging and stuff. Again, I'm 50-50, but I wanna try to meet in the middle. I'm basically in the middle for this. I see the problems, but I also see that there's some solutions, because you could basically judge the show but not see it. But when you see the show, your judgment could be the same or it could be different. So I'm gonna hold off from saying this is the worst show. I'm not telling anybody not to see the show. I say you should see the show, at least see the first episode, then make your judgment. So that's all I gotta say about that. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know, what do you think of this show? Made in Staten Island debuts tonight at 10 o'clock. I will definitely be watching. I will see what all the hype is about. You guys let me know. Are you interested? That's gonna do it. Thanks for watching and peace.
No.